The recently crowned world's first SSS Class Hunter, Jinu Kim, brushes off the swarming reporters, avoiding their questions. However, before he leaves for the dungeon, he turns around and states, "We've always placed our priority on the safety of the citizen." Whilst thinking how that should improve his image, a random voice in the crowd calls out to him, questioning his thoughts on the cleaning team assault incident. With Jinu Kim frozen in place, the man in the crowd continues exposing Junu's assault of a dungeon cleaning staff. Confused and irritated, Jinu feigns ignorance by claiming it's just a rumor before entering the dungeon, furious. After word of the assault got out, all of his past wrongs started to pile in, completely destroying his reputation. Heading home from the raid, the raging Juno blames his assistant, Miss Lee, for failing to keep things under wraps, but responding like a machine, she explains that the man who exposed him was in fact the son of the dungeon cleaner Juno assaulted. Seeing red, Juno declares that he eliminates whatever gets in his way and tells Miss Lee to take care of it or his career might be over. Thinking back on all his achievements, Juno gets even angrier at the thought of losing it all, claiming it's only natural he's frustrated. When suddenly a massive truck swerves toward them. Using one of his skills, time control, Juno manages to avoid the oncoming truck. Realizing this wasn't a coincidence, Juno jumps out the car to confront the truck. However, his brash actions leave him caught in a trap made for those with powers. Unable to move, two trucks ram into him at full speed and explode. Staggering forward like a zombie, Juno faces those surrounding him, asking who dares challenge him, only to be met with a hail of bullets. Facing such a dire situation, Juno draws on his countless experiences and mentally prepares for his counterattack when he finds himself staring down the barrel of the superpower suppressor Titan. Then, with a wry smile and a bang, Juno Kim is killed, but in the midst of the death, Juno unlocks a hidden skill, Karma, and with the skill he is sent back 10 years into a career determined by the karma of his previous life. After calculating the karma of his previous life, he is assigned to the dungeon cleaning team. Gasping awake, Juno finds himself in a pigsty of an apartment. Confused at his whereabouts, Juno reads a system message, "Death confirmed," and comes to the realization he's 10 years in the past and has in fact died. But 10 years ago, Juno was already a promising A-rank hunter, aged 28, rising through the top ranks, but is now a cleaner. Startled, Juno looks at the system window and discovers in order to deactivate Karma and return to the moment before his death, he must become the Secretary General of the International Superpower Association within 5 years, or he will perish completely. You see, in this world, the International Superpower Association is in control of all associations across the globe, and the Secretary General is the most powerful position in the world. Even as the world's first SSS Class Hunter, the Secretary General was out of his league, and now he only has 5 years to reach it. Facing the impossible task, Juno decides becoming a hunter is the fastest path, but all his skills are locked. On the edge of another meltdown, the system flashes. You acquired a new skill, OCD. With its effect, get cleaning you moron. Juno rages. Laying in bed, he thinks about who killed him, but interrupted by his phone, Juno takes the call. It's Boss Park, but he doesn't remember having such a boss. Calling to see if he's coming into work after the last dungeon, he promises it won't be as bad. In the background of the call, Juno can hear other workers complaining about him. But before Juno's rage engulfs him, the boss tells him to save his number under Guntei Park. Realizing this is the name of the old man he assaulted, he says he's coming in and leaves immediately. On his way to the dungeon, Juno realizes all his belongings from the past don't exist, and determines this must mean all his past relationships must have changed as well. So in this world, he never assaulted Park and has nothing to do with him unless Park was involved in his death. But thinking back, a cleaner shouldn't be able to pull off such a high level attack, but he's still unsure. Back when the incident occurred, Juno had suggested on some cutbacks, which fell on the shoulders of the dungeon cleaners, and Park had confronted him, asking him to take back his suggestion as cleaners were already struggling to get by. In response, Juno belittled cleaners and eventually called them parasites, resulting in Park getting in his face as he couldn't take any more slander, before Juno pushed Park, sending this ordinary old man into a wall. And at the sight of the battered old man, Juno told him to stop overreacting and called his assistant, Miss Lee, to take care of this parasite. Arriving at the dungeon, Juno notes this is a high-risk, yellow-level dungeon, and the boss would be the Foxtrot Centipede, which he knows as he was part of this conquest when he was 28. A friendly voice calls out to Juno as Park approaches, all smiles. Ignoring Juno's menacing glare, he slaps him on the back as the other team members, Sang Hyuk Han, Hui Jin Lim, So Yeon Moon, complain about Juno's attitude and work ethic. With only 45 minutes to clean the dungeon because of Juno's late arrival, the team hurries inside, with Juno questioning what exactly dungeon cleaners do. Juno recalls that the Korean Association is made up of 4 teams: the command and control team that monitors the opening of dungeons and gathers information, the hunter support team that makes weapons and items to support conquest, the strategy and operation team that consists of hunters that conquer dungeons, and the dungeon cleaning team, which he had no clue about. Wondering why the others are pretending to be busy, Juno begins to wander off toward the boss room he remembers from his previous life, but the others stop him because the dungeon map from the control team states the boss room is in the other direction. Juno tells them they're wrong, but the others just think he's high, and Juno decides to let go since he can't tell them that he had cleared the dungeon in the past because they won't believe him. On the way to the boss room, Park mentions how long they have left, reminding Juno of how all dungeons perish after each conquest, typically 2 hours after the conquest. Juno then asks Park why they clean a dungeon if it will perish on its own anyway. Park laughs before explaining that a subjugated dungeon doesn't perish but actually enters a resting phase until a new monster takes over, and if the monster carcasses aren't cleaned up, hunters can lose their way and the gas from the carcasses are fatal to humans. Thus, the job allows hunters to focus solely on the conquest, making Juno realize the others weren't pretending after all. Reaching what was marked on the map as the boss room, they try to enter, but the door disappears. With only 22 minutes left, the group decides to finish what they started, despite Juno's resistance, telling him he's free to leave as it's not like they expected much from him anyway. Thinking about his past life as a top hunter, his pride can't take being looked down on by mere cleaners as he angrily takes command of the group, leading them through a shortcut. Arriving in the boss room, they find a massive foxtrot centipede 10 meters in size. As Sang-hyuk approaches the monster, Juno pulls him back right before the monster bursts to life. The monster then slammed into the ground, lifeless once more, with Juno thinking it must have been rigor mortis, blaming the hunters for slacking on their job. Hui Jiang steps up to Juno, saying that Juno should step back and let him dismantle the centipede since this is the first time Juno has seen a monster. Having his pride poked once more, Juno pushes past Hui Jiang before beginning to dismantle the boss monster with his dagger, explaining the optimal way to do so, stunning the others as they start to follow Juno's lead, whilst he shouts instruction. In the middle of dismantling, Juno's passive skill OCD activates, and upon completion, Juno smiles, satisfied with his work, which leaves Juno shocked at himself. The rest of the cleaners praise Juno for his proficient work, and with 5 minutes left, they get ready to leave. But as they make their way out the dungeon, one of the bags Juno is carrying breaks, leaving his foot trapped in the tar-like blood of the boss monster. He attempts to break free using his skill Hellfire, but the skill fails as it is still locked. Working together, the cleaning team tie a rope around Juno and try to pull him out, but he doesn't budge. With time running low, Mr. Park orders Juno to take his hazmat suit off to get free of the blood and trade suits with him, despite the dangerous gases, confusing Juno as to why he would risk his life for someone else when he could easily escape. Running arm over arm, Juno and Park narrowly escape the dungeon just before it perishes. The 3 cleaners cheer for their boss as Juno comes to terms with the fact he nearly died cleaning a dungeon. Park joyfully apologizes for what happened in the first cleanup task, chalking it up as a growing experience. However, at these words, Juno realizes that this was just the first cleanup task, and Park happily notes that they have 5 more to go. You see, there are 96 strategy and operation teams in all of Korea, not to mention the thousands of freelancers. Meanwhile, there are only 5 cleaning teams in the nation, 25 cleaners total, meaning cleaners average 3.3 dungeons a day, and if unlucky can be assigned 5 cleaning tasks a day. After a hard day's work, the cleaning team start talking about a team dinner, but Juno, feeling out of place, hesitates and ultimately declines, turning to leave with Soyeon praising his work today and saying goodbye as he heads home. At home, Juno concludes that Park couldn't have killed him as he is too soft-hearted, and thinks over some of the people that held grudges against him in his past life. Juno decides this line of thought is pointless, and for true revenge he needs to deactivate karma and return to his past life. Juno checks the system to see that all his skills have unlock requirements. However, all of these conditions have to do with the cleaning team. Throwing a bottle in frustration, Juno's OCD skill activates, sending him into a cleaning frenzy until his apartment is spotless. Then with a ping, the system informs Juno that he has met a skill unlock requirement by showing up to work, unlocking the skill Hyper Boost. A week passed, and despite cleaning 25 dungeons and dismantling 30 monsters, The only skill Juno has unlocked is Hyper Boost. The skill increases the user's speed in battle, but is best used paired with an attack skill, and is unusable for cleaning since it only activates in battle. Checking the system for skill unlock conditions, he finds his most powerful skills behind near impossible requirements. Although there are easier ones too, they are abstract. Arriving late because he missed his bus stop, Juno finds So-yeon and Sang-hyuk by the dungeon. Turns out the boss has gone to get something and Hui-chang is taking leave for personal reasons. Sang-hyuk offers Juno a coffee as Juno thinks that his attitude towards him has improved since his first day. Saying they should just get started, Sang-hyuk stops Juno because the conquest is still ongoing. Wondering why they're taking so long on an intermediate blue level dungeon, Juno calls them pathetic, leaving So-yeon and Sang-hyuk confused at his comment. 30 minutes later, the conquest is finally complete. Juno belittles them for struggling as So-yeon tries to stop him from drawing attention when Juno recognizes a hunter leaving the dungeon. Minju Kim is a beautiful girl who is a junior hunter on his team. Thinking aloud why she is here, he catches her attention and she asks if he has something to say to her, as he replies no miss, before grinding his teeth in frustration. Juno remembers her despising him for no reason and once cursing him out harshly after he told her to retire out of consideration when she got severely injured. He thinks all she has is her nasty pride, though she did have potential. Noticing his blank stare at Minju Kim, So-yeon asks if he knows her, and Juno says she just looked like someone he knew, and So-yeon replies that she thought it might have been his ex. As the others joke at Juno's expense, Park returns, and Juno, trying to change the subject, says they should get started and heads into the dungeon. Over the past week, Juno has been bombarded with questions about dungeons and monsters since he's so knowledgeable, whilst avoiding suspicion by claiming he's done research, which they seem to believe. Park and Juno head to the boss room and find the humanoid boss monster Vega. Looking over the corpse, Juno notes that the Vega wasn't a very tough monster, and a B ranker like Minju Kim shouldn't have struggled to kill it. In the past, she had the potential to be an S class, if not for her injury, and was highly skilled, so she shouldn't struggle against a Vega. As Park attempts to move the boss monster, Juno notices some shallow knife wounds and shows a concerned face. If you enjoyed the vid, like, sub, and comment below. Peace.